Hello, welcome back. Today I'm drinking another American whiskey. I'm drinking Balcones Baby Blue. This is a corn whiskey. It's made from heirloom blue corn. It's aged for 6 months in used American oak barrels. That's the main difference between a whiskey and a bourbon. This is not a bourbon because this whiskey was matured in used oak barrels, and bourbon uses new oak barrels for its maturation process. This is a 100% corn whiskey, I believe. It's bottled at 46% alcohol. It's non-chill filtered and it has no added colouring. This is a small batch whiskey as well, I believe. It's batch number BB18.5 and the bottling date is 7/4/18. This whiskey is produced in Texas in North America. I believe that Texas doesn't produce many whiskies, but this is one of the few. I have been wanting to try this whiskey for quite some time. I decided to pick it up after watching a review of this whiskey on Whiskey Quest's Antonio's channel. I really like American whiskies and bourbons. I have reviewed quite a few of them on my channel. I picked this up for around £50 online. Quite expensive for a no age statement whiskey. As I say, this is only around 6 months old. It's aged for 6 months. I like the bottle design as well. I like the blue label on the front. Blue is one of my favourite colours, as you can probably tell. I often wear this blue hat and this blue shirt. Anyway, as I say, I've been excited to try this whiskey for quite some time. I've never had a corn whiskey before and I wanted to try something different. I poured some out a little while ago now. It's pretty dark in colour, not super dark. This was aged for just 6 months in the barrel, so you're not going to get a super dark colour. This is a more spirit driven whiskey. This particular whiskey is picking up most of its flavour from the spirit, from the corn, rather than the barrel. I have had a few drams of this now. It has opened up a bit now after a couple of weeks. Let's see what I pick up today. It does have a really nice nose, this whiskey. It's not bursting with different flavours. I mainly get buttered popcorn. Here in the UK we have a popcorn called butter-kissed popcorn. It smells very much like that. Very thick and buttery. I'm also getting a little bit of apple right in the back. I didn't get the apple before when I first opened it, but now I do. Not much else really. Onto the taste. On my first sip, I get, again, buttery popcorn up front, and then in the mid palate I get apples, green apples, red apples. It's quite light. It's only 46% alcohol. I get no alcohol burn. It's very pleasant indeed. It is quite different from a bourbon whiskey, I would say. I'll have a second sip. On the second sip, again I get the popcorn, the buttered popcorn, the apples in the mid palate, the red apples, green apples, some toffee. It's also quite nutty, especially on the finish, and I can pick up the roasted popcorn flavour as well. It does use roasted blue corn, as I say, and I can detect some kind of roasted nut right in the back. It's sweet up front and in the mid palate, and at the back it's nutty and a little bit smoky, but it's not peaty. It's right in the background though, and it's very faint indeed. It's not very complex. It's basically toffee, popcorn, buttery popcorn with a touch of apple in the back, I would say. It's quite gentle as well. It's only 46% alcohol, I don't recommend adding water to this one. It's just about right as it is. The finish is, I'm not sure, I'll have another sip. The finish is short to medium. It is quite different from a bourbon whiskey, I would say. It lacks the spiciness that you normally get in a bourbon. I don't believe that this whiskey has any rye in it whatsoever, and I can definitely tell that it doesn't have any rye because I don't get any spice really whatsoever. Just buttery sweetness. It's quite different from a bourbon. However, it is a nice change from a bourbon. A lot of bourbons that I've tried do taste quite similar to each other, but this is definitely not a bourbon. I do like this quite a bit. I'm going to give it a very good 7 out of 10. It is a little bit expensive here in the UK. I paid around £50 for this. It's a lot cheaper in the US. I might have given it an 8 if it was a bit cheaper. I do like it. I've been drinking it quite often over the past few days. I probably would pick this up again. I want to thank Antonio for recommending this whiskey. I am pleased that I picked it up. It's sweet, it's not very complex, but it's a nice change from a Scotch whiskey, and it's also a nice change from a bourbon as well. I recommend picking this one up, if not just to have something different in your collection. A very, very nice whiskey. Okay, I'll be back in a few days with another review. Take care. Bye bye.